Hello and welcome to Sketch Series. Today I'm going to be drawing this, so hopefully you guys are interested and stay tuned and check it out. Alright, so as you guys heard, I'm going to be drawing a couple of the characters from the X-Men. I decided to draw the most, I guess, popular or famous ones. But there's many characters in the X-Men, so whatever, make do with it what you will. This video will be a little bit jumpy as well because my camera kept auto-focusing and then auto-unfocusing, so I had to cut some of that stuff out. But as you can see here, we started off already with Storm, and this is Storm from Uncanny X-Men and from the current run, I think, after Bendis redid the character and all that. So pretty cool. Pretty easy stuff there. As you can see, I've kind of laid them out. I scattered them throughout the page. No real rhyme or reason. I just wanted to include all of them. I did all 5 X-Men. So we saw Storm, and this right here is supposed to be Rogue. And we'll be going on to Jean Grey, Wolverine, and Cyclops. Now for these characters, I didn't pull up references for any of them. I just kind of did them off of memory, off of what I remember them looking like, and off of some iconic things I remember from them. So this is kind of something important that you can try at home, is if you want to build your visual library, in other words, how quickly and how easily you can reference something in your head and just draw it. One way of doing that is to take something that you think you know and draw it a few times and see what you can get, and then compare it to what it really looks like. And I've always heard the example of, well, draw a toaster. And people draw a rectangle with a couple slits on the top and a button in front, and that's a toaster. But then if you go to the store, there's hundreds of different styles for toasters, so you can draw all kinds of things and call them toasters. And then you start to think about, oh, well, I know what it basically looks like, and I know what the function is, and now I can, take that and apply some different aesthetic and some different cool aspects to it and draw it in different forms. I like doing that with characters. I remember Rogue had some kind of a bandana, so I drew that, and a couple other things. For example, she had a jacket, so I decided to draw that. As for Cyclops, I know he has some kind of glasses or goggles, and his hair is very combed to the side, and he's kind of like the clean-cut nice boy. Unless you've read the recent comics where he's like the total bad guy or whatever, takes the place of Magneto. But so I decided to draw that, and I know that his old costume from the 90s TV show, the cartoon show, had him wearing this blue and yellow costume with a little bit of, I guess it was a yellow sash or something, I don't remember. So I decided to draw some basic Cyclops, and then I colored in the glasses here with a little bit of black, just to make my life a little bit easier later, and I don't have to worry about coloring the glasses. As for Wolverine, I'm really bad at drawing characters with masks, so it's quite a challenge to draw Wolverine for me, especially because not only is he wearing a mask, but he's also kind of hairy and has a lot of stubble and is unkempt. So it was a bit of a challenge to get this character to look right. And I feel like I'm not 100% satisfied with the way it turned out. It's okay, but it's not great. It could be a lot better. But I went with his brown and yellow, I believe. When we get to the colors, you'll see more of that a little bit later. But here I'm trying to draw in some of that stubble, hoping that I'm not drawing too dark, and just going from there. Now we jump into the coloring, and as you can see here, I'm going straight in with very strong blue, and I'm going to go with a strong yellow, and those are going to be my motifs, I guess, for all the characters, except Wolverine and I guess Storm a little bit. His glasses, I remember, were yellow, if I'm not mistaken, and I wanted to have yellow on his outfit, but I didn't see where, so I just put it on that simple trim. And then from there, went in and did the hair, and I think he has brown hair or dark brown hair, so I decided to use this Prismacolor. I don't remember what brown it is, but it's pretty standard, Prismacolor brown, I don't know. I mean, you just try whatever marker works best for you, whatever colors combine best for what you like. As for the skin, for all of these characters, I tried to use a minimum of 2 tones, but no more than 3, because I didn't want it to become overly blended or all the colors to just kind of mesh into this goopy paint color. And as for the hair, so you can see here I'm coming in with this brown, and I realized, ooh, this really does not go with the other brown that I used. So I come in with a medium brown and kind of wash it away and hope to cover that embarrassing mixture that I created. So having done Cyclops here, he's pretty much done. I'm just going to come in and add some shadows to give his face a little bit of contour. And again, with this, you got to be bold. You really have to be bold. If you mess it up, who cares? Do it again. Draw another one and do it again, and you learn from your experience. But it's better to be bold and take risks than to just kind of sit there and do very safe, very vanilla things. You'll never get anywhere like that. And as for highlights and textures, I used dark gray and a light gray to give a little bit of highlight and a little bit of texture to the clothing. Now for Wolverine, I come in with a very strong yellow, and I'm just going to go for his basic motif, which is yellow and brown. I believe this is from the 90s comics, but I don't remember. Don't quote me on that. I'm not much of a Marvel person, but because the movie's coming out next year and the movie looks pretty cool, all the characters look cool, except Apocalypse. He looks ridiculous. I thought I would try it. Now as for Wolverine's face, I tried to go very dark where there's stubble and very light where there's no stubble, and hope that it conveys, because I feel like I really didn't do a good job. Wolverine is probably the weakest one in this entire page, and you can tell just by the way I'm drawing it that I'm kind of skeptical. I'm not very comfortable. The color scheme is really nice, but then I thought, oh, I gotta add some shading here, so how am I going to shade this? And in order to shade and add contour and shape and try to convey that he's not a flat figure, I decided to try to use a gray to do all the shading. And my thought was that, well, the gray will give the yellow and the brown, it's a kind of neutral color, it won't take away from anything. But as soon as I started laying down those grays, I instantly regretted it, and I said, oh god, I ruined my yellow. I had a nice beautiful yellow, and now it kind of looks like, I don't even know, like a diarrhea yellow. It's horrible. It's just horrible. Having done that, having ruined my Wolverine, I go back and I believe I go over it with yellow again just to see if I can salvage a little bit. And once it's finished, I actually go over it again with an orange that I have and try to save it there. But let's jump ahead to Storm. Storm has white hair, so in order to accent that, I'm going to give it light gray shading to show kind of the contours. And Storm she's African American. She's actually from Egypt, I believe. I'm sorry, did I say African American? She's just African. She's from Egypt. And so I decided to go in with a nice kind of middle tan for her base skin tone, and then color on top of that with different accents to give the skin more I don't know, more liveliness, I guess. So once I come in with this basic tan and just kind of, I'm trying to kill that marker because it's actually almost out, so that's why I'm using that one. It's kind of splotchy. But now I'm going in with a more tan and just going in and filling out and pushing the colors around a little bit and trying to see if I can create a realistic skin tone, a realistic texture for the skin. I'm very satisfied with the way the Storm came out. I feel she could be a little bit darker and it would still be good. I'm looking at the actual drawing right here in front of me, and she looks a little bit lighter than I would like her. But overall, it doesn't look bad, and I gave her the blue and yellow motif, the X, and I gave her a little bit of pink on her lips, but mostly black lips, just because that's how she's drawn in the comics. And I go in and I give a little bit of red and yellow to some of the cheeks to kind of give it a little bit more blush. And having done all that, I'm going to just color in her cloak with some basic grays, and then we'll be done with Storm. Now, all while coloring this, I'm thinking to myself, how do I convey a motif that they are all members of the same team? Wolverine is probably the only exception in that in this uniform that I painted, he doesn't fit with the rest of the X-Men. The X-Men wear blue and yellow for the most part. If you read the recent ones, I think they wear black and yellow, but it's pretty much always been yellow and something else. So I decided to use yellow and some blue on all the other characters. And for Storm, it was mostly just that pendant in the front that you see there. Now going on to Jean Grey. I don't know if this conveys that this is Jean Grey, but I went ahead and first started with the skin. It's always nice if you're coloring lots of things to try different things. Don't always start, if you start all your characters with the hair, maybe start one with the skin. If you start them with just the uniform, maybe start coloring the hair first, or just mix it up, because it gives you some fresh ideas and some fresh insight as to how the colors blend. As you can see here, I'm not quite familiar with I bought some new skin tones and I wanted to try them out. So you can see me here kind of blending them, and I realized, oop, I blended them backwards. The redder one should have been where the more dull pinkish one is on the cheeks. But that's okay, that's how we learn, that's how we grow, so it's no big deal. Even though it's in a video and even though people will see it, it's not a big deal because in the end, I'm still learning, and that's the whole point of this, is to learn together. So as for her hair, I know that she has red hair. Again, I'm not using references for any of this. So I know she has red hair, and I know originally she had like a green dress, but then more recently she was wearing the typical blue and yellow outfit, kind of to match what's his name, Cyclops. So I go in for the red hair and then a little bit of a lighter red, kind of an orange, just to go on top of it and smooth it out. And now I'm going to go in and add some motif. Here's my yellow, and I'm going to make her shoulders yellow, and then the center of her outfit blue, just to match everything. And I decided to try to shade my yellow instead of with a gray undertone, with a tan undertone, and I like it a lot more. It blends a lot nicer. So I use the gray under the blue just because it also blends really nicely when you put a cool gray under a warm blue. Actually, I think this is a cool blue. I don't know. I'm not quite there with my color scale things. So, learning experiences. And for Rogue, I know she has some kind of a jacket, and I believe it's green, but I could be wrong, and I know it matches her bandana. Again, I didn't use references, and I did that on purpose just so that I can practice using my memory, practice doing things on my own, and just kind of get creative. Two things to consider about Rogue is that I know she has a jacket and a bandana, and also she has a gray streak in her hair, and in the movies they say that it's because she depleted Magneto of his power and it gave her a gray streak. So I decided to color her hair mostly a dark brown, and you can see me going in here with her uniform underneath her jacket has the basic blue and yellow motif. And then once I'm done with her hair, the brown part, I'm going to go in, finish off this jacket here, just put some light green over everything, and see where it goes from there. And I'm going to go into her hair, add a light brown, but also add a gray to it. Now you saw me there drop a gray and then a red just to darken her lips a little bit. Now while I was recording this, my camera fell and it cut the video, so we're going to jump to the final product. Here you see both of these guys, and I'm pretty satisfied with Cyclops, not so much with Wolverine. As for Storm, we kind of see her there. She looks pretty good. I'm really satisfied with her. I feel she could have been a little bit darker. But moving on, Jean Grey and Rogue both look pretty okay. Rogue could have used a little bit more color on her everything. Thanks for watching the video. If you want, you can check out the last video I posted in the link below. There's also Facebook, Instagram, and Etsy links provided here for you to check out and hopefully see some stuff you like. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.